We'll go ahead and call this road committee to order. I'd like to thank the road department, all the folks for being here, our guests for being here, the banners here. I'd like to thank our commissioners for being here. Lori, thanks for all, as always, setting everything up for us and making everything look good. If I could, let's approve the July 31st, 2024 minutes at this time.
So move.
Thank you, Betty. All those approved, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Stand as approved. The agenda items, let's start out with letter A, traffic signal request at the Benton Pike and Menace Road intersections. Glad to have Josh here today.
Morning, everybody. Got a little bit of a crowd here today, so welcome, sir, and welcome, Bentley. Good to see you guys again. So the traffic signal request, Benton Pike and Menace Road. Right now, there's a four-way, and I'm guessing the complaint was they're complaining that it's getting backed up out there. And I went out there yesterday during the school hours. Went up there about 10 times, just down and back, down and back. And the longest I ever waited was about a minute and a half. So, I mean, there might be like 5 cars in front of you, but even at the worst time, it's really not that bad. And those traffic lights are expensive, and the county really doesn't even do them. So, I know the four ways are kind of annoying. Get there at the same time, but it really doesn't need it out there, as far as we can tell. Heck yeah.
Like over here at Parker, 20th Street, they put a red light there, but anyway, that's a different.
Yeah. No,
It's just cost money. You know what I'm saying?
they're expensive, yeah. And even the red light, there was more of a line on the red light than the four-way stop. So it's working pretty good right now. And
But I'm not an engineer.
well, me neither.
The thing, I know people wants a traffic signal there, and unless you can put in the turn lanes, you're not gonna really help the backup problem a whole lot unless you have the turn arrows, which that one's not equipped, with the turn lanes. So you probably, if you put up a traffic signal there, you're probably not gonna relieve the wait time very much.
Just waste $80,000.
Yeah.
Did we have anyone here that wanted to speak on that matter? Since it's early in the agenda, didn't want to leave someone here all afternoon in case we get lengthy on some other things. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Danny Britt, and I live right there near the intersection. Live in the same subdivision that the lady wanted to have the signal light. That was Miss Thompson. She can't be here today, and I'm not sure why she honed in on the signal light so much. Talked to other people there. I didn't take a survey, but they don't believe either that a signal is going to help that much. I don't go through there during the school hour very much, but normally it's not too bad. Yeah. If people knew how to do a four-way stop, when they get there at the same time, they motion and all that stuff. Yeah,
Kindergarten.
I think just don't tell Miss Thompson, but I think it's okay the
Okay.
way it is.
We appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Right. So moving on to the next one, we got the Moore Road three-way stop request. And that guy is Bob Nipper. He lives out there. I think he moved out there not too long ago. But, and I called him the other week. I thought he was going to be here maybe.
I talked to Bob this morning about 8 o'clock. His wife's got a procedure at
Okay.
Memorial, so he couldn't be here. But
Okay. But I've been out there and Tom's been out there, and he's talking about where Moore Road intersects with Moore Circle Road. Well, there's a stop sign already from Moore Circle Road to Moore Road, and it's just a county back road. It's 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, but there's a little bit of a hill in the person's yard, So you kind of got to inch up to see around the corner. But we thought you had enough sight to see out there. It's not really a problem, in our opinion.
Okay,
All right.
you can proceed on.
Moving on to the next one, Mouse Creek Road. Someone called in, or I guess they sent in an email to Lori. I think you sent that over. They had like a diagram where they wanted the rumble strips on Mouse Creek Road, and the rumble strips are used. They're supposed to be used to alert an unusual traffic situation. But these are just curves on a county road, and we've got a million other curves on county roads, so we're not going to go in and start putting rumble strips on every curve. There's signs alerting the people that there's a curve coming up, and actually I was out there this morning, they're putting up more of those signs. So it doesn't need rumble strips out there. The people just need to slow down. It's not a highway out there. If they're going highway speeds, they can't make the curve, but speed limit's 35, and that is working good out there.
Okay.
Does it have like chevrons? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, some of the more, I guess, exaggerated curves, they got the chevrons, and there's warning signs saying how fast to go through the curves and everything. And he might be out there right now adding a few chevrons.
Okay.
Because not all of them have them. But another thing with those rumble strips, they're loud. So the people that live out there, they're not going to like them out there.
Gotcha. Proceed on.
All right. Got a striping request for Hooper Gap. I think that was one of the commissioners that had that. We've got a bunch of roads that we're wanting to stripe right now, and I've spoke with our striping contractor. She's out in Knoxville. She does really good work, so everyone wants to use her. So she's we're on her schedule, I guess, but she's hopefully going to come next week and get that Hooper Gap Road and a few more roads for us.
Awesome. I think Commissioner Alford will be excited. Go ahead.
All right, the no parking on street signs. I'm not sure whose complaint that was. I don't know if Tom wants to talk to it, but I'm not aware of that complaint.
We had a couple of complaints in two separate subdivisions lately, one being Banbury off of Bancroft Road and one off of Johnston Road on the south end of the county. In one instance, there's a fellow that has, I think it's probably a landscaping lawn mowing business, and parks his trailer on the street. And others as well. We paved this subdivision here a while back, and we had to go through and ask some of the residents to please move your cars so we can pave the road. And another is on Johnston Road in South Bradley County. Of course, in this subdivision, there's still some building going on, and of course you have your construction workers parking in the street, which that's normal. That's going to happen regardless. But there were some houses that were already developed that were using the street to park, so we went ahead and put a no parking sign up there too. So we put up the two no parking signs at Banbury subdivision and this other one on Johnston Road. I can't remember the name of it. But, you know, we went through a deal one time, I think it's in Somerset subdivision, where an emergency vehicle needed to get in. And I can't remember if it was a fire truck or ambulance, but they couldn't get through because cars were parked on both sides of the road and they couldn't get through. And so we put up no parking signs in that subdivision. And I almost think it should be a requirement as developers do these subdivisions. Go ahead and put one up. I mean, cause we're gonna have to come back later probably and do it, so. But that's something I guess we'd have to get to. Yeah. Well, one thing uh, you always take into consideration, uh, and I'm not 100% sure, I'm only like 99% sure this person that called in has their house on the market for sale. So, so that usually, if somebody's got their house for sale, they want everything just in order, you know, so that may have had something to do with that one. But anyway, we put one up anyway because, there was a lot of activity out there with all the construction.
All right, moving on. I see a Tasso Lane railroad crossing. I'm not sure whose complaint that was or who wanted to talk about that one.
I received a telephone call from a resident in the area, and she said that there's not an arm that goes down, and it's just a very dim blinking light. I explained that we have no authority over the railroad equipment, but she said, would you please at least have your road committee and road department look at it to see if there's anything that we can do to improve the safety of the crossing.
Okay. Well, you said there's a light there already?
There is a light. She
Okay.
said it's very dim and no arm.
Okay. Well, the light, we've got a lot of railroad crossings, got a yield sign, so the light is better than nothing, I guess. But those gates, they're so, the county can't pay for them. But if the railroad wants to come out there and put gates on there, they can. We can maybe try to reach out to them, but they're hard to get in touch with about that. I just wouldn't be too hopeful for getting gates out there. Yeah. Doesn't hurt to ask.
Ain't
though.
gonna happen.
It wouldn't hurt to get a letter though.
Okay.
From y'all.
Yeah.
If there's an accident with a fatality, they'll put the gates up. But otherwise, you gotta fork the bill yourself. I mean, that's,
One else?
All right. Moving on to give you guys an update about our state aid paving. So we've got a lot of state aid paving done already this year. We paved Upper River Road. That's a pretty long road. That road came out great. It's striped and everything. And just last week, I believe, we finished the paving for Keith Valley Road. Still got to stripe that road. Like I said, we're waiting on the striping contractor to get out there. But that's about to be done. And then we're going to try to move into another state aid job this year. So we'll a lot of paving done this year.
I was on Keith Valley the other day, and it's a super highway now. It's
yeah.
a good job.
We're
Thank
about,
y'all.
we almost have our, their bonus money that we got from the state. I think Red Hill Valley will about wind that up. I think they wanted us to spend it as quick as we could. I think in hopes that we might get more once that well goes dry. So we're almost spent out on it. So
How much did y'all get? Paid?
right at 3.6 million.
Good.
And we've made it go far by doing our own paving. We've made it go a long ways. We've spent it mostly on long roads. Of course, Upper River's a long road. Keith Valley is. Red Hill Valley will be. Shada Valley was. I just felt like we needed to get the ones with the most traffic and was going to require the higher price tag to pave than it was the little short ones. Maybe we can, if we don't ever get any more money from the state in the way that we got that, then we might can handle the shorter roads with what we get on a yearly basis.
Anyone else?
All right. We have been doing some work on our salt shed. We talked about that some last time. We've got a salt shed that half of it's falling apart real bad, and then the other half of it is pretty new and it's still in good shape. And we've been kind of weighing the options. Should we build a new one, tear that one down, build a new one, try to fix the old one? And we had a group come out that was gonna help us do some consulting out there. And turns out where we wanted to put it, there's a sewer line running through there, so we wouldn't be able to put it right on top of the sewer line. So I've got an estimate of what I think it'd be for a new one. We're gonna look into maybe just fixing the old one, kind of see what the best thing to do out there is gonna be. But we're moving along on that, and we'll come up with something for you guys soon.
What's it gonna cost to get that done?
For a brand new one, I think $350,000 would get us a brand new one. I'm not sure about fixing the old one, but we were copying the TDOT design, so they got real fancy aluminum roof that goes over it, big concrete walls, so it might be cheaper. Yeah, but Tom will decide what the best thing is to do.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
What we're talking about doing is the salt shed we have is 100 feet long. And when I was elected in '98, it was 50 feet long. So we added on 50 feet to make it 100 feet by 30, it's by 32 feet wide. So the part that's bad is the part that was there when I got there in '98. The part that we built after I got there is still in good shape. So what we're thinking of is going, just adding on to that with say 50 or 70 more feet, something like that. We do need it a little bigger. Go ahead and add on to it, and then once we get it completed, maybe tear down the part that's bad. I think that's going to be the cheapest and probably the best way to do this.
The one you was talking about building a new one, how big was it gonna be?
That was going to be, we were thinking 40 by 100, so it would be a little bit bigger than we got now. But if we're going to build the one we got now out, we can build it bigger than it already is. I see a Benton Pike rezoning. Figure Bentley, is that something you were wanting to talk about?
It was Monday before last, and Howard Thompson actually asked to place it on the agenda because he's concerned, that there's not a turn lane into that area since there's gonna be 500 homes added in the development. And he feels like if he could get maybe the developer to give an easement or to donate some of that land to add a turn lane, that might help traffic flow in the area.
Yeah, they'll have to, any subdivisions that have over 25 lots have to dedicate an acceleration lane
Okay.
to the county, or put it on their property, right there in the right of way, but like the one on Johnston Road, you'll see one down there. But yeah, that's a requirement with having it.
So it'll be bigger.
Have y'all ever had to make anybody do that? Well, I'm talking about, like force them, say, hey, you don't have this done yet. Gotta do this. I mean, is there any repercussions if they don't? Okay. Okay. I'll just curious. Wow. Okay. I guess you can run across that, I'm sure. good.
All right, well, that looks like that's everything on the agenda. If there's anything else anybody wants to bring up?
Anyone else have anything to discuss today?
Talk about, annexations for just a minute.
Okay.
It's, and I don't really know, I mean, I sort of know what the road department's role is in an annexation. Before a road is annexed, I get a email and it's asking if, I guess, if I see a problem with this annexation. Of course, I could respond on all of them. Sure, you're putting more traffic on a narrow road, you know, but I really don't know how to respond to those. Like, for example, Shannon lives on Free Will Road, and I think there was like 35 or 32 acres or something just sold, and I think they're proposing quite a few houses to go on it. Well, you're adding, I don't know, let's just say 100 houses. It's probably more than that, but let's just say 100 houses. So you're adding traffic to an already congested area, like where Free Will meets Harrison Pike. I'm getting calls almost daily and pictures of people showing how they're sitting there in the morning for 15 minutes waiting to get out on Harrison Pike. Well, you add another 100, 150 houses, then you're just making that worse. So I guess I don't know how to respond. Should I say, no, I don't want this development because our road won't handle it? I don't hardly know how to handle that. I mean, at some point, I think that we're going to have to address the congestion that these developments are causing.
I agree.
You know, if anybody's got any suggestions, in this particular area at Free Will and Harrison Pike, you know, that's been visited by the state, I don't know how many times. And the state's not willing to put up a traffic signal, because of, one is the road, Old Harrison Trail, doesn't line up with Free Will Road. They're offset with one another. Another is you don't have room for turn lanes. So I guess they feel like that, you know, if we're going to put up a signal, we need turn lanes, we need the whole caboodle. And so I don't think the state's going to be willing to help any on it until we make those improvements. And this one's not unique to other areas too. Michigan Avenue has a congestion problem. Hopewell does. Black Fox, Taylor's, about all schools, county schools, has a congestion problem in the morning and in the afternoon. And
Bentley, do you have something?
I was just gonna say, it's a nightmare in the morning there at Free Will and Harrison Pike.
And most people turn to the road department like there's something we can do, and we can't. I mean, I don't know. I've tried through the years to help them. I've built stacking lanes and all that, but it don't seem to help.
One of the things I've been saying for years, especially on these non-contiguous annexations, if we can force the city to take the roads we need to, because they need to be the ones upkeeping the roads, in my opinion. I believe is it New Murraytown there, where they've got the subdivision and all the lots are in the city, but they back out onto a county road. I mean, it doesn't make sense for that not to be in the city. But
That's
you
another
see
thing
that all over the county, though. I mean,
that's another thing I want to talk about is, like in that instance on Free Will Road, now they put up their city limit signs on New Murraytown, but they've yet to move the one on Free Will.
well, in that case, they did take the roads.
Yeah, but they haven't moved their city
Oh,
limits
okay.
sign.
That's what,
And Shannon lives,
Parcel is now, the land is still county, but it's being rezoned or annexed. The
Yeah.
road has already been annexed into the city.
but the problem is, the county commission's only gonna have a say if it's a non-contiguous annexation. As long as it's contiguous with the corporate limits of Cleveland, I mean, the county doesn't have any say, as long as
Really?
it's done by referendum.
but like on Free Will Road, I mean, I think they acknowledge that they do own that road now, because they did a striping contract, and, you know, they striped it, and I don't think they would have striped it if they weren't.
Yeah, it's in the city all the way to that new development right before
Yeah.
the storage units.
I don't know. Maybe we can get them to move the sign.
I'll mention it to them.
See, our guys, they mowed it a couple of times because, you know, they don't know. The mowers don't. But anyway, we'll work that out.
Now, you was talking about, Free Will, other road across the street, what's the name of that road? On Harrison Pike.
Yeah, Harrison Pike.
I mean, it looks like, there's a bank there. It looks like they could, come over, make that road, they do it all the time on stuff like that, you know, changing road routes and all that. I'm just saying, I know you
Right.
can't do nothing about it, I'm just saying, looks like they could, cause when you go there, it's a bank, it's not like there's a business or something there. Come over further, make it,
You're
'Cause
talking
it
lining those two roads
yeah,
up.
lining those two
Yeah,
roads.
it could be done.
Because, I've got a lot of complaints about the school, but, that's not no secret
Right.
about
Tom, does
that's not even.
PDOT
my district.
just say a lot there is not warranted?
That's what they've said through the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Well, that not lining up has always been an issue too.
But that could be lined up
Yeah.
with a bulldozer.
And, well, actually, what, they did the accident count on it, and the accident data through the years hasn't come up to what it needed to be.
With all
That
that,
surprises me, but
I know, with all the new development out there.
I don't know, maybe.
Mr. Thompson, do you have anything, sir?
I'm here.
Anyone else before we close the meeting, adjourn? Go ahead,
I was
Mr.
gonna let you know that on the, the 500,000 y'all gave the county for, ARP money for striping, we have $237,919 left. So, we're still moving right along.
We got a lot of roads done.
Oh,
with
yeah.
That, absolutely. Communication from the audience, or do you want?
Danny Britt again. And I'm here because the roads, we had a discussion on them, back in August, I guess. And I was here when the rezoning was done. And y'all approved that on Benton Pike. And seemed to be a lot of discussion about roads at that meeting, a lot of concern. And I just wondering, how do we have a plan that builds up some money that the road department can use to improve? Because it appears that the housing is going to keep coming. People are going to keep coming. And the divider, the subdivider, is not going to pay for the road. So we're going to have to pay for it somehow if we want a road that's safe as we can get it. I don't know what that should be, but, I'm sure nobody wants to pay more taxes. But, you know, is there another answer? Don't know. And Menace Road is a good example now, talking about annexing and the city being responsible. That road, it's not very long. It's gonna be a hodgepodge. It's gonna be city down here, if they approve to take it. By down there, it's gonna be city from 64 down to Old Power Line. And then it's gonna be county from there down to Michigan Avenue School, somewhere in there. And then for the last few hundred feet, it's gonna be city again. And down till it meets Michigan Avenue. So it's really gonna be nobody's road. Right now, I think, I'm sure Tom can back this up. It was in fairly good shape from Old Power Line to the 64. But I bet you there's been 6 or 7 trenches cut across it for utility. I know they gotta do that. But it never goes back to what it was. It's never as smooth. I drive that road every day. So you just drive over the bumps and curse and keep going, I guess. And I'm not cursing Tom, but I know that, you know, it's just the way it is. Who is going to maintain that little strip, this little strip? Possibly nobody. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Thompson?
We haven't heard back from the city yet on that, have we, on Menace Road. We requested that they, take in from Pearline Road to 64 into the city, because they've took that corner in there. That's, where they build, where the fire department is there, and they build those new townhomes.
Uh-huh.
But, of course, that's Cleveland Utility there also. But for some reason, once they annex, a lot of times they forget about the road. And that's not right, you know. If they're going to annex it, they need to do the road too, which they probably would in the front of that apartment complex. But we requested it be taken in all the way down to 64 Highway. Now, from Pearline Road to Benton Pike, that's what he was talking about. He lives in that subdivision there. And that's, it's narrow. It's just like any other roads in Bradley County. And it takes a lot of money to widen roads. You gotta buy the property from the people that owns it right away. And then you've got a contract to get it widened, then we've got to pave it. But it's, I know we've got problems, but I know it takes plenty millions of dollars to do what we need to do in Bradley County and for widening roads. And that's not Tom's fault. And this goes way back when they rode wagons on the road. But anyway, that's where we stand at. And I'm with you. I hope that someday that we can do some widening, but it takes a lot of money to do that.
Well, somebody mentioned Michigan Avenue before, and what a mess it is down there at 20th, and where Menace comes in. And I've been to the city council meeting 2 or 3 times and complained, I guess, like I'm complaining here, but I don't see any progress. So to turn a road over to the county or to the city is not a big help to people that drive it. I don't think.
Commissioner Goins?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I agree with him about part of it being the city, part of it being the county. You know, I just wonder if there's any way that, the city and the county could work together on doing a whole road instead of just doing blotches here. It's just a thought, I mean, can something like that be worked out with, instead of just doing, 300 foot?
I would hope we could, like Urbane Road, you're in the city, then you're in the county, then you're in the city, then you're in the county. I mean,
Right.
it needs to be, somebody needs to have a whole ownership on it.
Yeah, I definitely
what I'm
agree with
saying?
that. That's what,
I wish we could work that out. I mean,
means it's not ever been talked about.
no.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's a planning nightmare too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like our mowing guys, for example, it's hard on them to know where there's a mow. I don't even know really sometimes where you're going into the county or into the city. So how would they know? But on another note, you're talking about that development on Benton Pike. And I just want to let you know, if this happens, I don't know how many houses are going in there, do you?
They hadn't submitted a plat yet.
Okay, Peach Orchard Hill, which I get plenty of calls on it as it is. It's gonna take a hit if this development happens. And I'm saying that because we need to be looking into the possibility of maybe someday letting a contract to widen that road, make it better. Cause it is narrow, no shoulders. It's gonna take a hit, isn't it, Howard?
Well, I think when the city went down the right side, Peach Orchard Hill Road from Michigan Avenue, and they took that into the city. And they left the road with us. I got on them 2 or 3 times about that. Then they went up there where the curves are. You'll never straighten them out now because they build homes in there. And you still got 2 big curves there that you'd have to tear the homes down to straighten the road out. But I don't know. You talk about working with the city. I wish we could, but I've been here a long time, and I ain't never been able to work with them. But anyway, that'd be a good idea if we could. But of course, they have their taxes and we have ours, and they don't seem to care if they raise taxes, but the county does, and I can understand where they're coming from. But I don't know, Tom. We'll just leave that up to you, I guess.
Well, and two, I think this committee, I think as county commissioners, we would be willing to sit down if we could maybe, Lori, invite some of those folks in with the city and the road department, and nothing ever gets, until you sit down at the table together, nothing's going to get, it's going to be what he think or what she think or what they, we're never going to get anywhere. So I think that would be a good idea if we could sit down, Bentley be there, be all of us, all the partners from the city of Cleveland, because I think we're at that point where we're willing to sit down and do some talking, because I don't have the answers to all that either. That's a lot of houses and a lot of people coming to Bradley County, and we need to at least try to have something in place, but I know that's asking a lot.
If you look around, not just the county roads, but city streets, the state highways, if you look at the shape they're in, it seems like that all 3 entities are falling behind as far as the upkeep of their roads, the maintenance on their roads. And I think it's all to do with the prices have just got out of hand on everything from equipment to material. I know it has us. We just keeping our equipment going is unreal what it's costing us. Materials, it's just so high that we can't do all the paving we need to do. We can't buy all the equipment we need to buy. Can't hardly keep what we got going. So it's not just us. It's the city, the state. It's just taking effect on everybody.
Mr. Chairman. Have we mentioned, Michigan Avenue Road at all today? I don't guess.
I think, Mr. Britt may have mentioned it there a minute ago.
That, we've got a problem on Michigan Avenue. They took that road in, the city did, if I'm not mistaken. And the whole road from, the Benton Pike all the way to, I guess, all the way out on the left side, but I don't know. I think they've taken all that in from, Menace Road out to, traffic light. And
Say
we've
that
got,
again from-
we've got a lot of problems there with, the traffic, and it's getting more every day. And I don't know what we're gonna do with that thing unless they're gonna have to go to the left side and buy right of way. And that's the city's deal though, that's in the city. And they annex it in, but they don't wanna fix the road. And you talk about sitting down talking to them all you want to. I've sat down with them for years and talked, and I never did get nothing done. But, they're gonna do what they want to. And, and that's where it's gonna end up. Now, if you can talk them into more than what I have, well, you're doing all right. But, developers is what we're gonna have to worry about in the future. And, they're the ones that, when they build on a narrow road, they need to be able to put a little money in and maybe widen the road or put a turn-off lane or something, just like on Benton Pike there, where it's going up into the cathedral there, where they're gonna build those homes. They're on, they're gonna have to, put a turn-off lane right there. They're gonna have to have, that's coming off Peach Orchard Hill Road on the Benton Pike and then down to there. But there needs to be a turn-off lane right there. And, that's their biggest problem, and those people around there, they're griping about the traffic, and I can't blame them, because it's gonna be heavy. But, I don't know if we could ever put a turn-off lane there, if we'd ever have money to do that or not, Tom.
I don't either.
But it needs to be done if there's that much traffic gonna go in off of Benton Pike, then there needs to be a turn-off lane into that.
Well, Howard, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it. Any new subdivision that has more than 25 lots has to have a deceleration lane. They have to put one in.
That'll be put in out Benton Pike.
Yeah.
What needs to happen, all these that's a lot on development, because the fact that be put in.
While Bentley's here, I need to touch on something. I would like, if we could, when there's gonna be a development, I would like to have a pre-construction meeting with the developer, his engineers, his surveyor, everybody involved in it. It seems like now, as opposed to when I was in here before, they just go to work and they don't even tell you they're going to work. I mean, I went into one the other day, a subdivision they're building, and I kind of felt like I was trespassing. Guy says, "Who are you?" I said, "Well, I'm Tom Collins. I'm with the road department." And he changed his attitude, but we need to let these developers let us in on their progress, because there's things that we have to do. We have to test roll it, the subgrade, and we have to test the rock and all that stuff. And we need to know. We need to be involved in their process.
Yeah, Josh and I and Crystal met, was that last week? and we're looking at the subdivision regulations, that's one of the things we're gonna put in there. They should be coming to y'all first anyways, I mean, before they start road construction or anything. But we're gonna get all the parties involved before ground's broken. And then I think you said after the fact that you guys wanna have a second one at the road department. But we're gonna make that amendment to the subdivision regulations to make sure that's in there, but we can go ahead and start that now.
Okay. I think it'll be a benefit to the developer and the road department.
Which development are you talking about that you walked up on?
The one off of Bancroft Road.
Okay,
Well, I mean, when they're not working in there, like when they go home at night, they lock the gate.
yeah.
Uh,
I was asked about that yesterday. I need to look into that. That must have been approved while I was at TDOT. How many lots is it, do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you know, Josh?
Okay. Okay, we might have approved that before I left, but I'll look into it today. But I think the developers for that one were out of Chattanooga, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think this is his first development,
Mhm.
and so he's, he may not know all there is to know about it either.
So yeah, I 100% agree with you. And we had talked about too, if it's in our MS4 stormwater area, we're supposed to have a pre-construction meeting with them anyway for stormwater purposes. And if it is in that designated zone, we can bring her in too
Right.
and kill two birds with one stone in that meeting.
Yep. That's all I have.
Mr. Thompson?
I got one more thing. Hancock Road, what y'all decide on that, place there, the bird?
That
What-
where the
what
water's
comes-
coming
where
off
water
the
come
hill.
off the hill, yeah. Yeah. So we can't stop the water from coming down, but we can stop her driveway. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate y'all doing that. Didn't do no good, but y'all done it. And, I can understand why it didn't do any good either, because you got a hill there and you got a house at the bottom of it, but, I think she's wanting to sell that property and, of course, I guess she was down there before the subdivision there. That's what I was talking about. She was there before the subdivision was. And, of course, when they put that road down through there, why, the developer run it right, of course, she's right across the road, and you can't help that. 'Cause if you live at the bottom of the hill, you're gonna get water.
Yeah.
And, so, he still asks about it all the time, and, so anyway, I didn't know if y'all mentioned that today or not, but, I know you've heard it enough.
We went out there the other day and looked, and there's a little bit of malfunction on the drainage coming off of that subdivision off the hill. The troughs that the water is supposed to go into the ditch, water can't get to it because it's on a slope, and the water is going away from there. So we looked at it, and we can do some changes to get more water in the ditch and less going out in the road. I think we can. Right. But
Yeah.
if you live at the bottom of the hill, there's one thing for certain. You're gonna get a lot of water. I've been dealing with a resident, over in Arrow Point subdivision ever since I've been back. And I've done everything I know to do. And he lives at the bottom of a subdivision. and every drop of water that hits in that subdivision comes to his property. And I've, you know, we've spent a lot of time, a lot of money out there trying to help him. But I told him the other day, I said, there's nothing I can do about the amount of water you're getting. I can't stop it. I can't control it. I mean, if it's coming down, it's going to go on your property. There ain't no way I can do anything. But, you know, we're still working with him, and may not can ever make him happy, but we don't give up trying.
We can try. Before I adjourn, I've got a couple of things. I'd like to say we're excited to have Bentley Thomas back with us in Bradley County. We're glad he's home.
I
Where
think
he
he's glad
belongs.
to be back.
Absolutely. And I want to elaborate just a little bit on what we were talking about with the city and stuff. I mean, I do the TDOT litter grant, and at the sheriff's office, I do probably 50 to 100 miles or more for the city. And somebody asked me today, said, well, who asked you to do that? And I said, nobody. It's the right thing to do. They're in Bradley County also. If to have clean roads, we've got to do that. Same thing, road department. Somebody asked me the other day, said, why do you pick up dead animals and do all this stuff for the road department? Why do you help them out? And I said, because I want to keep them out here on our roads, paving and doing the things they need to do. And that's called working together. And I've had 3 or 4 commissioners send the text while I've been up here saying, hey, we'd love to get with the city and the road department and their public works and sit down and talk and get some things going. And anything, Bentley, you can do to need to join together and help each other out. And the road department too, this week, they helped me on a couple of things. Bobby Long and Josh out on Sim Goodwin Road. I had to cite some folks for a tire dump out there, and Bobby and Josh, they were right out there alongside of me. We were trying to work with the property owners, trying to get things done out there. And that's what it's called, networking. And nobody asks us to do it. It's just the right thing to do, and we all need to work together. Everyone, I speak I'm sure for the entire county commission. We appreciate the road department and everything y'all do, because we see you. we know you're out there busting your hind ends every day, and we appreciate y'all for everything you do, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And with that, we're adjourned. Squirrel, let's put that in the back of the truck.
Is that all?
You can haul it off.
I was noticing that yesterday. I'm
Let you
like,
haul that one off. What do you think? Think we need to get together, don't we?
Yeah, I think it.
Okay.
Dang.
I put down